Allí está grabando.
Yeah, it is recording though.
It is recording. So, okay, cordial and kind greetings to all of you. Really thank you for being in this lesson. This is our first lesson regarding with the emotional intelligence course. So here we are going to explore a little bit what is emotional intelligence and how we apply that ability in our lives. And also we are explore the course that we have designed here and how do you have to develop. So my name is Marcela. Really welcome to you, Angie and Davis.
Thank you.
Well, so let's start with the welcome to the course. Here you are going to find the introduction to the course, what you are going to do, the target population, and also for the level of English that is related with B1 and B2. You can explore also the video. Mm. Then you start with how to navigate the course section. Here are some instructions you can explore also here. It's like a presentation and how do you find the different activities inside the course. So the learning outcomes for this course is that you recognize the role of emotional intelligence played both in personal and professional context. Um, Also, interpret audios, conversations, videos, practice our abilities, listening, speaking, and reading throughout the development of this course. Don't forget to get into the forum communication in which you can express ideas, opinions, and also make an introduction of yourself. And here we can interact if you have any doubt or if you have any concern regarding with the course. Here there are some participations and that students have made already. So let's start with the pre-knowledge activity. Um, I would like to hear you. What do you consider, or what do you hear about emotional intelligence in your lives? If you do you consider it is important or not before um, starting this session? What do you think, and Davis?
Well, beings, right? And to to memorize things, to learn better. Um, the emotions are very important because if you relate what you are learning with something positive, of course, that knowledge is going to be there for you forever. So
Yeah.
it's very important for motivation and things like that. The emotional intelligence. I think it refers to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Davis. What do you think, Angie?
Well, I think that emotional intelligence is to know how to manage your emotions and how to control them in order um, to act in a good way always, even though you're in a bad mood or something like that, you can manage that kind of emotion. And it is important because everyone should manage their emotions to enjoy every activity in life, because every day we're going to have different kind of emotions like positive and negative, and it is to know how to manage them.
Yeah, thank you, Angie, for your concerns. So let's start with this quick assessment, or is related with the prior knowledge about emotional intelligence. So here appear some questions, and we are going to develop together. So, what is emotional intelligence? What of the options that appear here do you consider is the right answer?
I think it's B.
I think it's B.
B, this one. Okay, thank you. Yes, it is correct. Involves self-awareness, regulation, motivation, all of those we are going to express or to develop later. So the second one is, which situation best demonstrates emotional intelligence?
C.
Well, I think it's C.
And what do you think, Angie?
C. I think it's C.
Okay. Yes, recognize more than about ignoring emotions. It is not related with emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence involves recognizing, understanding, and managing both your emotions and the emotion of others. It is true or false?
I think it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Look at the image and select the sentence that is correct according to emotional intelligence. So here we have that it is incorrect, sorry, that it is incorrect according to emotional intelligence. So in this first image, we have something that it is recognizing and responding to others' emotion, building to construct uh, strong relationships. So in this image, we have someone reacting immediately to an upsetting email. That is the best way to show confidence. What do you think? Or a good leader listens to both sides of a conflict before making a decision. What do you think it is the incorrect?
The second one.
Okay. Yes, that we usually do, no, react immediately to something that it is not wrong, not right with our lives. Which of the following are key components of emotional intelligence? And select two correct answers.
I think the ability to control others' emotion and empathy. Empathy.
Which of the following are key components of emotional intelligence? Are you agree, Angie, with the ability to control others' emotions and empathy?
Well, I think yeah, the ability to control others' emotions, but could be also self-awareness. I
So
don't
for
know.
warners, and
And the ability to control others' emotions. I think.
do you consider emotional intelligence is related to control the other's emotions,
Mm,
or more to control our own emotions, or to have empathy with the others' emotions?
yeah, could be empathy. I think.
Hmm. Yeah, because control, I consider it is not more related to control the other's emotions, because that it is not something related with the intelligence, emotional intelligence. It's more related with empathy.
Okay.
Very good. So let's start with the learning guide unit 1. So in this unit 1, we are going to explore some of the key components of emotional intelligence related with author, that it is the person who has explored this ability, that is Goldman. So as we have seen before, here we are going to explore a little bit or quickly about these components. So self-awareness. The first component is self-awareness. And remember that self-awareness is recognize our own understanding of our emotions. Why I am feeling that way, if I am feeling anger or stress or excitement in that situation. So the first step is to recognize how I am feeling in determined situation. It doesn't means that we always be happy. It's not related with that, but just to understand ourselves and our feelings regarding what uh, regarding any situation. So let's go to the other one is self-regulation. Once that we have explored and recognized our feelings, is to regulate that feeling. If, for example, if we are anger or anxiety, and find specific strategies in order to regulate that feelings. And not all the strategies work the same way to others. So we have to develop that ability in order to regulate our emotions, especially to sad times or anxiety. In these times that we usually work in stress situations, to find that strategies to manage that situation. So some of us used to, for example, use meditation, talk with others, validate the emotion that we are feeling in that moment, and take like breaths or do another activity in order to regulate that emotion that we are feeling, or also to write the things that we are feeling in that moment. And different activities or different alternatives that we can use in order to regulate that emotion. um, Regarding with empathy is to understand others, not to control, as we said before, but it is to understand others, because we can control what other it is feeling. So more than control is understand how that person is feeling, and how we can contain that feeling or situation. And more than be empathetic is more that be empathy with that person, to understand, and also to be kind with that situation that people usually it is feeling. So let's continue with the two last ones, that it is motivation. Motivation is a key component of emotional intelligence, related that motivation drives us to pushes or perceive and succeed any goal that we have. Here in motivation, remember that we have intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. The intrinsic is driven by internal satisfaction as personal growth or passion for learning, for example, and extrinsic motivation regarding with rewards and recognition or other other external rewards. And the last one is social skills, as effective communication, conflict resolution. And so a person who is developing emotional intelligence has to have strong emotional skills in order to effective communicate and effective negotiate or bring a solution to any situation. I consider this is important as teachers and also as students, because usually we are involved in social meetings or in social connections with others. So learning how to communicate or negotiate with others is a clue and a key point. So once that we have explored key components of emotional intelligence, um, I would like to develop this application of emotional intelligence according with the things that we have seen before. And also, I would like to hear you. Um, have you ever think that emotional intelligence can be developed or could be developed in your lives, or do you apply in your work, for example? What do you think, Davis and Angie?
Absolutely. And we have to be aware of emotional intelligence because every day in our life we are facing challenges. We are dealing with different peoples. Every person has a problem and a difficult situation or something like that that we have to manage something because maybe is maybe it affects also our job or our environment. So we need to be aware of that and try dealing the best way we can.
Mm. And you, Angie?
Well, I think that it is important to have emotional intelligence because every day we face situations um, that we need to manage. Sometimes are not are not good situations or maybe problems, and we need to have the ability to solve that situation and to understand our own emotions to have a to have a better life, because if we manage our emotions we can live better.
Yeah, and we consider that emotions are not affecting our life, but the truth is that the way we think or the way we feel affect our body and our health here too. So, um, for example, in my case, I used to didn't control the emotions, and before I didn't know how to react to something, and then when I started to study this component or this ability is something that we can learn, and nowadays I control better the emotions and the situations, and it is totally effective when we apply with the students and in the classroom setting, because in a classroom with 30 students, for example, you have to control and help the students to manage emotions too. So thank you. Which of the following are the key components of emotional intelligence? Remember, Davies. So here we apply the self-awareness, empathy, and regulation, and also empathy and regulation. Ignoring emotions is not a part of emotional intelligence. Davis, why is self-regulation important in emotional intelligence according with these options?
Sorry,
Hey,
I have to
Davis.
move. I have to move to the. I have to go to the restroom because I'm feeling back. I'm feeling bad.
Oh, you have to go. Go. Angie.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please? Why? What is?
Okay, so here I'm going to explain that you have to develop this quiz related to the things that I have explained before. And there are some questions related with self-regulation. And here you can apply or select the correct answer, and the feedback appears immediately. So let's move to
Oh, okay,
another
okay.
eh, to another to another section. I would like that you check this video. This is a short video regarding the explanation of empathy and sympathy. Okay, do you hear the
Okay.
video, Davis?
No,
Okay, let me see now.
no,
It doesn't have sound.
No.
No.
you're not sharing the sound.
Okay, let me see. No, you can hear the video, Davis.
No.
Okay, so here we have different words regarding that, different words, empathy and sympathy. Regarding that, empathy is the ability to understand others, while sympathy is just to, okay, that is happening with you, okay, I don't mind, or it's like there is not a kind of connection with that person or with the feeling that that person it is having in that time. So I would like that in together select these words into empathy or sympathy. Okay, and Davis. So, for example, validating emotions, do you consider is related with empathy or sympathy? Hello, Davis.
I think it's empathy.
Okay, empathy, emotional distance. Is Angie over there? No, it is not Angie.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's
here.
also empathy.
Ah, okay, it is Angie here. Angie, what do you think is related this uh, emotional distance is
I
related with
think
empathy, sympathy,
I think empathy.
emotional distance,
Yeah, I think.
and judgment?
Gotcha, man.
Mm,
Uh,
can
sympathy.
you
Uh, I'm not very familiar with the term of sympathy. That's the truth.
Okay,
share?
empathy, as I said before, is related that a feeling that you have, but it is not related with connection. It is just that, okay, that's happening with you. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you are feeling. You can do better. It's
Ah,
something
okay.
that it is not connection, like empathy,
It's
because
like the
with you,
contrary of empathy.
Yes, it is like the contrary of empathy because you can feel sympathy for something, but you can connect with that feeling of that that feeling that the person is having in that time. So, for example, emerge and other things like judgment or emotional distance because didn't I don't care what you are feeling enough at all. What
So
so
emotional distance
Okay.
is sympathy. It has
Yes,
to
so
I
be
think it's
with
sympathy.
sympathy.
okay, empathy, judgment, sympathy. Listening actively, do you consider is a component of empathy or sympathy?
Empathy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You listen actively, understanding, empathy or sympathy?
Empathy.
Yes. Piety,
Sympathy.
Sympathy.
sympathy. Mhm. Feeling sorry,
Sympathy.
Mm,
sympathy.
I think so.
Okay. Unequal power dynamic.
sympathy.
Uh-huh. Yes. And connection,
Empathy.
empathy, disconnection,
Sympathy.
sympathy, compassion,
Empathy.
Sympathy.
supportive presence.
Empathy.
Empathy, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, this emotional distance, not at all. But yes, what we usually do in empathy is to, for example, when someone is having trouble and you don't have the correct words for that person in that moment, so you can do is listening actively, even if you don't have the proper words to support that person. And but that supportive presence is enough, and that is related with empathy. And in sympathy, you just feel like, okay, that's what you feel. It doesn't matter to me. It's not important for me. So it's the contrary. Thank you so much for this activity. So I don't know if we have time, Angie. Okay, let's move here. You have to solve these questions and this activity. Um,
30 minutes
uh,
now.
Similar as the last one activity, we are going to develop this one. Here we have two words, self-regulation strategies. We are going to select one of those options or triggers. So, for example, talk to a friend could be a self-regulation strategy or a trigger.
Self-regulation strategies.
Self-regulation strategy, yes. Here is raining. Think happy thoughts. What do you think, Angie, is related with self-regulation or trigger?
Um, thing has been. What was it?
Oh,
Um,
I could,
Self-regulation.
yes, it is a self-regulation strategy. I could,
I don't see it. There is like
yeah,
a
it
song.
is a sign. Think happy thoughts. Mm. When someone is in my personal space, is a self-regulation or a trigger?
Trigger.
Trigger. Yeah. Meet it with a stranger could be a self-regulation of a trigger.
Trigger.
Yes. And to get a drink of water could be
Self regulation.
a self-regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like what we're learning.
Trigger.
Trigger.
A trigger. Difficult task.
Trigger.
Trigger. Not getting my way.
Trigger.
A trigger. Not knowing the answer.
Trigger.
A trigger too. Ask for help.
Self
Self-regulation.
regulation.
Self-regulation. Teasing.
Trigger.
Yeah, trigger. Take deep breaths.
Self regulation.
Not self-regulation.
Self-regulation. Count to 10.
Self regulation.
Regulation. Losing a game.
Triggers.
Trigger. Go for a walk.
Self-regulation.
Self-regulation. Use a fidget. A fidget is something that we usually do with our hands, like have a pencil or yeah, something in our hands in order to control that situation
So
or to do any
self-regulation.
mode. Yeah, self-regulation. Take a breath,
Self
break.
regulation.
And the final one is change my schedule.
Triggers.
It is related with self-regulation. Yeah.
Self-regulation. Okay. Change.
It is
Schedule.
raining right now here. So in this last session regarding with this unit one, we are going to express what strategies do you use in order to control a situation, and when you have a friend that it is having a trouble, what strategies also you use to control that situation. Do you hear me well?
To control the situation.
What strategies do you usually use when you have a situation regarding with the emotional intelligence in babies?
Okay. We can listen carefully the other person. Talk to that person. Think about the best way to express something. Be compassionate. There are many ways.
When you're with your students, what strategies do you use, for example?
For example, when my students are misbehaving or arguing about something, I try to listen to them to know what is the the difficulty they are having in that moment. And after that, I just ask them to reflect about if what if they are doing is correct or not. What is the best way to solve or to pass through that difficulty, and I try to help them.
Okay, thank you, ladies. What about you, Angie?
To apply emotional intelligence, it is important to take deep breath, think before acting, have self-awareness, self-regulation. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. So that's all for today. And the next, remember that you have to continue with the final exam and the other activities that are in the lesson and the unit 2 regarding that is misconceptions about emotional intelligence. And a last question that I would like to make for you is, for example, um, what do you think about the relationship artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence? Do you consider that artificial intelligence influence the emotional intelligence? Davies?
Mm, well, I don't know. It's a difficult question. Maybe I have to read about it.
Hmm. What do you think, Angie?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think it depends.
Hmm.
For what are you using the emotion and the artificial intelligence? So why are you using it for? And that will depend if it differs or not with your emotional intelligence. I think it depends.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for the participation of this in this lesson. As I said before, continue with the development of the Unit 2, misconceptions about emotional intelligence, and all of those activities that are over there to develop. And there are readings and there are practice activities and the final reflection and conclusion. So that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Detiene grabación. Yo creo que ahí fueron los 30